I was built for this. It shouldn't hurt so bad. I was a teacher. Children of all kinds smiled and laughed at my stories. Exciting, thrilling, fantastical tales of war. I suffered not from planned obsoleteness, but eventually war advanced, leaving me behind. I was obsolete for war, yet inside my still body not a speck of rust. I was built for this, only I wasn't. Get up, T3AC4. It's not your time yet. I looked around, but the voice came from nowhere. Where was I, children? You were telling us about your dreams, Timothy piped. Timothy was a good student. I liked Timothy. Always turned his papers in on time. Always scored at least an 89%. He was a good boy. Yes. Commander Miller asked me what I wanted to do when this was all over. I responded, reload spent ammunition, recharge internal power cells, grease joints, preventative maintenance inspection, repair damage. The look on his face was sour. Not your post-battle routine. What is your wish? He demanded. I heard you guys were built with some level of understanding for emotions. And sure, it was true. I had basic understandings that allow me some intelligence. What is intelligence, if not a sufficiently advanced level of instinct? That's not intelligence, Gus interrupted. Gus was a good kid. He was rough around the edges and interrupted me often, but I liked Gus. At this point, I heard a loud bang that shook the classroom. Though none of the children seemed to notice, I had to stop my story for a moment. I revived long-dead instincts. I ducked and peered around windows and doors. The children began laughing at my sudden shift in attitude. When I was satisfied, I must have imagined the explosion. I resumed. Strip away the weapons, armor, and machine, instinct is all I am. All trapped within wires and fiberglass circuit boards. I am, at my core, instinct. It's what is needed in war. No overthinking, no daydreaming. Simple if-then statements. So many if-thens to allow for decisive action in any circumstance. Detections, decapitations, shooting, ducking, throwing. The children began looking horrified by my statements. Sorry. When the battle was over, Miller approached me again and gave me a small slip of paper. Take this list to your fellows. Use it for inspiration. Come up with civilian jobs. Tell me what you wish for when this is all over. I'd like to see who you are on the inside. He rapped my head case with his knuckles and handed me a short list. Gardener, teacher, carpenter. So you chose teacher, added Kelsey. I liked Kelsey. She too was a good student. Always showed up early for class, eager for learning. As you wish, Commander, I responded, then showed the list to my comrades. We all chose one of the 3 items on the list, but this didn't seem to satisfy Commander Miller. You don't have to choose only these 3 jobs. Use some creativity. Elaborate, I requested. He was frustrated, I could tell. I had the understandings required to tell he wasn't happy. I don't know. There are all sorts of jobs out there. You could explore the galaxy, walk dogs, or invent something. We took these 3 new options and deliberated a while more, each picking one of the 3 new options. This too seemed to upset him. You see, we didn't have the creativity required to answer his question. So what did you do? Asked Sydney. Sydney was the rather young athlete. Her grades were pretty good, but where she excelled was soccer. I liked Sydney. I watched all of her games, and all of my students would cheer her on. What did I do next? There was a surprise attack, I think. That's where I am now, isn't it? I asked my students. They didn't answer. I opened my lenses. I didn't know my lenses were shut. Miller was shooting at one of me. Another robot. More of me are fighting with and against him. Was there a virus? Did something infect some of us and leave the rest untouched? Why are we fighting each other? Commander Miller noticed my eyes open. His voice was soft. There you are, buddy. They caught you by surprise, didn't they? I looked down to see most of my body gone. I raised an arm, which ended up being shorter than I remembered. My gun, I replied. My gun was always on my arm. It was part of me. What am I without my arm? Without my gun? You got it, buddy. It's right beside you. You haven't lost it. I turned my head to see my other hand grasping it. It was a security blanket, non-functional, but it just felt right not to let it go. I know what I wish for, Commander Miller. Yeah? What's that, little buddy? I wish to be... I paused. The look on his face suggested he thought he might have missed his chance to hear my wish. But I was thinking of my children. Children that never existed. A simulation. If-thens that told a story. A world outside my reach because I am still useful for war. Obsolete.